Hello. I hope you can hear me. Yes, you can. Yes. This is like very, very. I can hear you. This is very, very um corporate meeting thing. I have zero. I can hear you. I think I'm gonna leave this in the episode. This is very nice. I love it. I cannot hear you. I still cannot hear you. Please disconnect and connect again. I love this. Amazing. No, nothing. I'm trying my best. I cannot have nothing. Okay, we will be back. Hello?
Yeah.
Yes. This is very nice.
Yes, finally.
We have very corporate life coded energy.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
oh, my microphone is not working. Oh, guys. Okay.
I have some technical issues. I
It's
have
always it's always the
yeah, it's always like that. Like 2 days ago, I supposed to have an interview because some chick from United States wrote me and she was like, "Hey, I guess I like your experience. I want to meet you and so on." And I was like, "Okay, it's just like some really cool kind of invitation." So I scheduled a call. Accidentally, I did not really looked at the hours, so it was saying like
yeah.
3 or 4 around 4, and I checked it. I wanted to have this meeting like quickly, like in 2 days. It turns out it was AM on my time, so I scheduled the meeting at 3. Oh no, 2:30, like AM, like in the morning when you just go to sleep.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, it's okay, absolutely fine, because if this contract is going to work out, probably I will have some crossover with the United States and so on. So I woke up at 2 a.m. just to prepare. I'm sitting there just waiting for someone. No one appeared. And then I look at my calendar and it was saying like 3 a.m. because there is some difference between the hours. So I stayed awake 1 hour more and like
You're
waiting and
chilling.
the chilling, just writing something about my life. And she emailed me like, I have an internet connection, so I'm not coming. And I was like,
Oh,
okay, we can reschedule, of course, but she never appeared. She ghosted me. So
wow.
I just experienced how it is to wake up at 2 a.m. It's not that bad.
Yeah, people who work for USA hours, they do this like every day. They
Yeah,
wake
yeah,
up at night and just working during night.
yeah. I guess it was fine because it's very calm outside. No one. No, not outside because there is always some machine collecting garbage and there is too much
You're
noise.
never alone. People are
Yeah,
people are
no,
there.
no. Yeah, so it's just disappointment.
Well, it happens when you're looking for a job. It's part of the experience when you go through all of
Yeah,
these processes
yeah,
and like,
yeah, yeah.
well,
But
sorry, we already hired someone. Like when you finish like a very
uh,
big project for them, and it's like, oh, sorry, we already hired someone, and like I just finished like a 1 month project in 1 week, and you're just telling me that you hired someone.
yeah, yeah, that sucks.
Yes. Well, what you gotta do? That's the job market right now.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. It's totally fine. And
Yeah.
especially in summer, I understand it will be like too much many disappointments because everybody goes on vacation and no one really does any real work in summer.
Yeah. But it's always when they come back from vacation, that's when you wanna hire a person.
Yeah.
Because it's a
How
good
about you?
time, because nobody's gonna go on a vacation, so you know that it's a good time for onboarding. In my case, if we are onboarding someone, I do need to stay and work during summer, which is for me very nice because I don't like, to be honest, I'm living in a place where people go during summer, so I don't want to leave. But if I have a vacation, of course I'm gonna leave. I'm not gonna stay here, but I do want to stay and enjoy summer in here and then maybe take a vacation in when there's no tourists around.
Mhm.
So when you go other places, you're just free of tourists.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. I totally agree.
October, November is like a OG month to take a vacation actually because less tourists and you can actually enjoy if you are already living in a touristy place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Like I'm not taking a vacation as well in summer. My only vacation will be going to Georgia, of course, just visiting a family. Uh,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to take a vacation for that. Like, why?
Um,
Because if I will get overwhelmed, I can always say, "Look, I have a job to do. I need to go in another room and work and just avoid many interactions." So I'm not
I'm
taking a
sorry. I think Luna is losing mind and she wants to go out of my room. So
or let
I'm
her
gonna
out.
be back. I'm gonna be back.
Let her out.
She has a I want to pee so hard. Please let me out. Sometimes I forget to let her out of yeah.
She's fabulous. She's fabulous.
Yes. Amazing. Well, this sounds like very over episode of podcast because we never came. It's like for us, it's amazing because I try to explain to my friend because my friend said like, "Hey, you want to go to the beach today to
Mhm.
play volleyball?" And I say, "No, I'm recording podcast with my friend." It's like, "Oh, what's this about?" I'm like, "It's kind of
Okay.
complicated." We don't talk about it. We don't care actually.
Yeah, I can tell you the story about like how everything is was breaking down these days in my house. It was just like a chain reaction when something starts and then
Yes, domino
another thing.
effect.
Yeah, it was just like totally, probably it was totally our fault because and at the end of the day, I was like, every time, like in the companies, when the project doesn't work, you say it's management fault, like it's management fault. And in this house, the
100%.
same problem. Like there is a like chain reaction, domino effect, and I know it's just management fault. Like they missed everything because they planned badly, and there was like water falling from air conditioning, and we were like, what's going on? And then the guy came, cleaned the tubes
Yeah.
and this garbage that was in one tube entered in another. So then another guy came and cleaned this one and broke the like another tube and washing machine. And I was like, we have a problem here. And somehow we managed to fix it, but the tube is broken. So I forgot that I should not let it on, and I was like left it, and it just comes down and makes a pool in the toilet. So I entered, and there was like fishing fishes inside. So I was like, okay. So
Yeah.
every time there
A
is
lot
something.
of
this, there is a planning management problem. So in software management, in software programming, we know this as well.
Yes, it's
The
usually a
managers
management
use
problem.
up. Yeah, definitely.
Uh, it's also for I would say it's previous employees issue because in Spain it's a lot of the tubes are just like this, and when
Mhm.
it should be like this. It should be like a little bit up and down, so the
Yeah,
air can stay and the water can stay in the one place, so it doesn't gonna clog that easy. But in Spain it's not that, and usually
yeah,
it clogs all of the time.
yeah, exactly. They were like, you see this tube comes, and the other one that is connected should be like this because it
Yeah,
should
yeah,
be
yeah.
flat. And no, this is like this. Like even child knows that the water is not going go it's not going to go up, and it will be like stay here. But they did it, and they didn't really pay attention. Didn't pay attention. So now it's my problem. Eventually, it's the problem of the owner, of course, because it's going to reappear, and
Yeah.
they have to like call the insurance company and rent. So
I kind of like
yes,
this. To be honest, the Spanish people are the most that I have seen. Like maybe there are more people who are like more free-minded and don't care. But if I say like who are the people like in generally who basically doesn't overthink stuff and don't care about like you wanna with documents, oh it takes like 3 months. It's okay, just relax. You get whatever you get. So you don't rush. You just relax and you don't care about like management and maintaining stuff and stuff like this.
exactly.
This is the best country if you're this type of person, which I kind of am. But I also am the type of person that I want to have a good system first, which is
Mhm.
working, and then I want to relax. Then I don't want to
Yeah.
worry about it. But first of the thing, I want to have a good system, so I need to be relying on something.
Mhm.
So it's like I know my water doesn't go away because, well, I had a good system of water maybe in my country or whatever, so I can take a shower, so I can go to
Mhm.
work, and then I can enjoy my evening. I also like this, and we kind of saw this during outage, the power outage, that they are not very good at keeping things working. So it's like a very old system implemented like centuries ago. People just maintaining, and of course something will go wrong because it's not well thought, I guess.
Yeah,
Because
it's
if
not
something
okay.
happens and the whole country doesn't have a whole peninsula doesn't have internet, electricity, power, it means that something is being wrong there.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And they were like not they didn't actually started to like searching for a problem. So I already I have heard like thousand theories that could be happening there that like government is
Yeah.
trying to control that. And I mean, just this system broke down. You could just say they theoretically maybe we did something wrong like 10 years ago and we need to fix it. No, just aliens are coming. Okay, it's easier.
Yeah, we don't know. They don't care. Like people forget very easily, so nobody's asking why is it happening. Like nobody asked me, "Hey, do you know what happened?" Because nobody knows, and it's like, yeah, we don't care. You drink one more beer, it's just you
Yeah,
forget.
let's do career. Yeah.
Let's drink another beer and we forget. Which is kind of way of life to not to worry about stuff
Mhm.
because what's good is gonna be for you. Well, if you worry about too much about outrage, your life is not gonna get good
Yeah,
based on this. So it's better for you to don't worry about it, but it's also not good
yeah,
for the society in total. Yeah.
yeah. I was feeling the same way. Like when this thing was happening, and they like lose so much time because you have to call, and they didn't really had any appointment. So I didn't have a washing machine like 5 days because I couldn't work washing machine because the water was coming out and I was flooded. So I asked the owner, look, I have this problem. I'm actually paying to stay here, and then
Yeah.
now I have to um, go out, look for the like washing center to wash my clothes and come back. And I have a work, I have a job, I have responsibility. So I'm not this kind of. I do not have this kind of free time every day to look for it. And she was like, okay, I'm going to call. And the next day I wrote her to her, like, when they're going to come. And she was so, I mean, the tone, how she responded was like, don't, she told me, I do not know, with the tone like, please stop bothering me. Like, I do not
Yeah, yeah.
care. And I was like, how do you?
The
I was
problem
like,
is problem is they don't want to be like they don't want to feel anxiety. The anxiety
yeah,
is the issue, not the calling. You can call and tell your landlord, "Hey, washing machine is broken. How are you? What's you doing? Just come and fix." Like without any issues, with being relaxed, and they actually enjoy it. But if you're calling like a little bit anxious, they actually getting very, very bothered with anxious. Like
okay,
I would not
that
say every Spanish person, but most of the people I said, if they feel anxiety, they are like, "Oof, I don't want to be around this person
yeah,
because
yeah,
this person is
they
very, very
cut me
anxious."
directly, and they're being like wall. And then when I figured out that she was just trying to avoid the anxiety, I told her, look, give me the phone number. I'm not going to bother you. Give me the phone number. I'm going
No
to
problem.
bother the people. And I called and called, and what happened? This man who should have come didn't even know that he had an appointment, because the notification didn't arrive, because the systems doesn't work, the applications doesn't work. So if I had not had called him and that day, that would be take another 2 weeks probably, because the landlord would avoid the anxiety again and again. And so the problems, yes, there is much more problems, more problems in people trying to avoid this discomfort to having a
But
problem.
isn't this right when you have a stable life? It's like, why would you, if you have a roof on top of your head, if you have a food, you have a, let's say you feel safe, nobody's pointing gun at you, and you are healthy, and you don't have to be anxious at this point. Like, well, what do you being anxious about? Like, okay, maybe you have a washing machine, it's broken and it's inconvenience. We all agree. But when you are like, let's say, there's a two ways to look at this. Like when the person who is gonna fix the washing machine arrives, you can be like very anxious about it. You can be on top of this person. It's like, hey, are you fixing? What are you doing? Is it this? Do you need something? Is it? Can I give you something? Which is very anxious, and I get it. People feel anxious sometimes, but this doesn't help the person who is fixing the washing machine, let's say. And the other way, you can say like, okay, my washing machine is broken. The guy just arrives and can say, okay, this is the washing machine. It's broken. Please fix it. And then
Mhm.
just be relaxed and chill about it. It's much better for this person also who is the fixing the
Yeah,
washing machine. And
yeah,
for the
totally.
landlord also, it's much easier. But it comes from the state of mind where you're like, okay, I'm okay. It doesn't matter. Sometimes things happen. Washing machines are being made to be broken. So I'm gonna call my landlord and I trust. That's the other thing. If you don't trust your landlord, it's the other thing. But you say I trust, and landlord is gonna come and fix. Then I don't need to be anxious. I don't need to worry about it. I
Yeah, I
can
agree.
actually relax.
But there is for my case and from my perspective, there is one thing is being anxious and trying to push people, and there is another thing when something is important and you want to another person to care about it, and they're like, I don't care because I have a washing machine in my home. So whatever happens to you, I don't really care. So I when
Yeah.
I see this type of attitude, that just like, why? Because I do not really understand. Because at least I can tell you, look, I cannot really solve this problem, but for any case, I'm going to give you the number and you can just get on with it and try your way. But when I see that someone is avoiding just kind of responsibility, because in my case, what happened, you know what happened? They were like, when we moved to our home, they were like, now you live here, you can just call the insurance company and buy the insurance. And I was like, I'm living here, but I do not own the ho I do not own the house. So it was just like a red flag for me, like when someone is trying to take off all the responsibility. Like, why would I
Yeah.
buy an insurance for a house? I will be like 6 months here, and the insurance is quite expensive and maintaining all these kind of things. So I didn't really get it, and I had the impression that she was just like trying to avoid anything. And I have like had the cases when I see that they saw when I was with Tito and they saw like we are calm, we are quiet, we do not really start the conflict. And they were like, okay, I'm going to use it because you are quiet people. So I would say
Now,
this is bottle of emotions when I see the neglect, and I'm just like, no, not this case. So in other way, I totally agree that when person arrived, I was like, okay, you are professional. I'm just going to go out,
yeah,
take coffee, and if you like, I will buy you coffee as well, and take your time. But this kind of
that's the other
response,
thing of taking advantage of people who you own something to, which is
hmm
like a very shitty thing to do because it's your job to do this, and this person doesn't have any responsibility to call you and make you do your job. It's not like I'm not your boss.
yeah,
You are not work for me. You are just work for a house. Your job is to take care of this house, and I'm living it, and I'm gonna report if something happens. But that's your job to take care of it. Other stuff is also this. So it's like very, very interesting that people are coming off like very, very strongly against the tourists. I think it's same thing happening with tourists and government. For example, right now in Spain, people are having like marches and protesting in the streets, like in uh, Canary Islands, like Palma.
yeah, sorry.
And I saw in the internet, and they are just protesting and say, okay, you have tourists, and everybody's like, why would we against tourists? Like, because when I'm thinking in my head as a we are coming from a country which is very small and not a lot of people know about our country. If the tourist comes, they're gonna bring money, and it's like a wealth. But what these people say is, if tourists are bringing wealth, why the salary is very low?
Mm,
Very good question. So it's like, who are you taking care of? Are you taking care of yourself? And I have another big question. It's like, Canary Islands itself,
mhm.
just the islands are making so much money, and where this money is going? Like a
Yeah.
lot of tourists are coming. Spain is like a second most like a tourist attraction. So people are just coming here and every year, then spending so much money. And big question is that this money goes to the government, and where this money is going, like we're talking about like a billions probably. Like I don't know. I don't think maintaining Spain is that much expensive. It could be also billions, but they will have extra money left after it. So, and I think now they are trying to like stabilize their low income employees' salaries and stuff, which is very nice. But it's also like, why are we doing this in the right now that people are protesting now that we are saying stuff? It's also like maintaining your job is to maintain this like a tourist and how many people come inside Spain, how much money they are spending. Your
Mhm.
job is to maintain this money. It's not like my job to tell you about this. Like I see that a lot of people come. Let's say I'm a waiter in Canary Islands. I see a lot of people come here from different countries and they spend a lot of money, but still my salary is very low. So where this money is going?
Yeah, it's a legit question, totally.
I know it's not that easy. That just like give me this money to me and I just put it in my pocket. But I know it's much more complex. But still, it's a issue is
That's a
raised,
great
so
question.
it is happening. So I know it's complex, but it is the issue.
Yeah, especially when it's like so many taxes. Like they're taxing you when if you breathe. And I have saw videos about young people saying that the country is not for young people to develop. Like no, if you're trying to start a business, there's like taxes and they cut you when you start. At least in our country, we have like kind of a program, this kind of incubators to help. It was functioning. So at some point, I do not know how it's going now. And there is like free industrial zone when if you like register your company there, you are free of taxes. So it just motivates you to do something when you are young and do not have like mommy and daddy financing your businesses.
Yeah.
And I do not know, they do not have this kind of possibility. And all I'm hearing from like small businesses as well, like there is so many taxes, and they're like adding up at every step. It doesn't really make sense, and who does it benefit really? Like you are taking the taxes from your population to help your population, but also there is tourism, and you have all this money.
But the thing is, if I see what government is doing, because if you don't tax, let's say one bar in Barcelona, which is one bar in the city center can make a million probably in let's say in a year, maybe
Mhm.
more, because a lot of people are going, a lot of people are buying beer, which is beer is very cheap here. So they are reselling this beer very, very expensive in the city center because they need to pay a lot of money to the taxes. So government is just basically sitting on this idea of like where the money is coming to Spain, of course, with tourism. So we need to tax every tourist attraction, every tourist place, and we need to tax as much as we can. So they get the money and it actually goes to the government's place.
Yeah.
I don't know what they are doing with it. To be honest, I haven't looked at it, but I know they are getting money. For me, it's like a post-colony, like countries who lost the colonies thing,
Mhm.
like a Portugal, Spain, France, UK. They are still recovering when they lost colonies. They are still recovering from
They're
it.
colonizing their own people now. They're like, okay, we need
I
to.
think Spain is much more like a chill country or like much more kind country because they have like a very good rules to the pre-colonized people. So if you were like a old colony of Spain, you can get actually citizenship much easier than the other people. So they have a good rules against like this because they feel a little bit guilty, which makes sense a lot. They should be feeling guilty. So it's like, okay, yeah, it's not that bad country, but still many things can be improved like in every country, and it's good that people are talking, and it's good that still we have a ability to say what we want because there's a lot of tourists. I also agree. Even though I'm not from here, I immigrated. I do live here, but I do feel like a lot of tourists are here, even for
Yeah.
me as a
And
non-Spaniard.
I wanted to ask you like
Yeah,
a long time, how does it affect your relationship? Because, for example, I live in Alicante. It's also now, especially
touristy.
like a lot of tourists. And when I'm trying to make a friend, for example, I'm at the beach and I meet some girl, and I'm thinking, the good person, we can go out sometimes to take coffee. And she says, no, I like tomorrow I have a flight because she's a tourist. So I feel like I'm struggling for with young people, especially because this is most like more middle-aged for middle-aged people because it's like
Mm.
going going and just they are living, I mean coming and living. And how do you feel about it? How does it affect your relationship when you're in a city that is like really touristic and people are coming and living just in a week probably?
It doesn't feel like friends. That problem is like meaning of friends are getting a little bit fade away. It's like okay, we have a good word in actually in Georgia, like we have a friend, a word for a friend, and word for a person who just know. I know this
Mhm.
person. Like it's not my friend. I just know this person. So it's
Nice.
like you get a lot of people who you know, which is are not
Mhm.
your friends. So it doesn't feel like you are hurting when these people are leaving. But also,
Mhm.
it's a big issue in terms of some people are getting very tricked at first. Like you meet someone, you have feel like a good connection, everything, and you just like, oh, I forgot to ask about if this person is living in Barcelona or like of the place you are. So then you kind of like make up these questions that you need to ask when you meet a new person. So it's very, very common here that you meet someone. These are like three questions being asked. It's like, where are you from and stuff like this. What are you doing in here? Are you working? Are you staying? So you need to know this person is staying, and they're like asking if you are like a single or something like that. If you are looking for actual relationship, if you want to be as a friend, you can just don't ask anything. So it's like a very,
Yeah.
very common questions to ask a person, especially like first two. It's like a lot of tourists are here, so you are kind of want to avoid tourists if you live here. If you are also a tourist, you want to actually meet a lot of
Yeah,
tourists.
yeah, definitely.
And
Just
where are you from? It's just basically for me became, and I know a lot of people became. I just want to meet everybody from every country. Like if I already met someone from France, like 10 people, okay. If you are still from France, it's like okay, I met a lot of people from France.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
for like if I meet someone, for example, last time I met from Madagascar, for example, I never met anyone from Madagascar, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna ask a little bit questions, stuff like this. I'm gonna share the culture, so it's much nicer this way. Um, but it's very, very hard, especially with tourists because they come here not for like a culture, not for anything. They come here to party.
Yeah, yeah, I have had like
It's always partying thing.
it's about if someone goes to Barcelona, they do not say like I'm going to see a culture. They're like, there's this club, there is like this kind of like every type of club you you may have in mind there is in Barcelona. So
It's
I
a big
understand.
thing on Bumble because it's much more touristy application for me. And people are asking me what should you do in Barcelona, and I try to say as much as culture thing, but at the end I end up saying, okay, this is the good bar, this is a good club where you should go. For me, it's like, okay, I will go too, but how many times, like how many tourists should I go with to get bored? It's very strange. I've been very glad that I live here and I can get bored by popular places here. But if I go to this bar, for example, one time, which is very touristy bar, and I go with a tourist, let's say, second time, yes, second tourist wants to also see this place, but I'm not a tour guide, so I've been there a couple of times. I don't want to go again. I have other bars to go. I have other people to meet. So it's like you kind of want to find people to hang out who are live here because it's
Mhm,
much more reliable to make a friends. But it's depending on like how many. Like if you want to have fun, tourists are people who are actually having fun here. So
mhm.
if you want to just have fun, you can hang out with tourists, but these people are gonna leave, which is part of the deal, I guess. If you want to have fun, just have fun a couple of days and they're gonna leave. No commitment. So a lot of people
Yeah,
likes this. A lot of people love this no commitment thing with tourists. It's a big thing in Barcelona. So it's a way of life, I guess. Which one would you rather
yeah, it's
chasing
okay.
tourists or actually find people who live here?
Yeah, it's that's totally okay. For example, like I have told you like my story when I was in Georgia. I always dated tourists. I always avoided Georgian men. It was just like
Yes.
cross because I was like, I do not want to see you tomorrow somewhere in the bar with a friend or in a at work or somewhere. No, I do not want you. I'm just like I had this really clear that I was going out for tourists because there would mean nothing with them. Like one week mostly, like maybe 2 weeks if there was like they were traveling across countries. But when this kind of change for me, I'm just like I do not want to see a tourist because
Mm.
I'm not here for one big thing. So it can be troubling now.
I think there will be word for this. There's many people like you in Barcelona because Barcelona is also a big city. So you
Mhm.
can also date people who are here and just one day or one weekend you're not gonna see this person in the street. That's a very big city, so you don't have to worry about it. But also there's many people who I personally know who is just chasing tourists and not anybody else. Because being a tourist is such a you feel like such a free and you don't care. And you also don't care what you say. And you are
Mm,
being yourself truly because you don't care what you say, you don't care what you do because you're not gonna meet these people again.
never
So
again. If they
you are
judge
very,
you,
very free.
let it be. Let it be. If they do, like say, what an absolute bullshit. You're like, I do not care. Like, do whatever you want. Yeah.
And also it's very nice when they speak only English and they don't speak Spanish for them because it's like a more exotic, so it's make them feel more free. Usually it happens that they speak only English and they don't speak Spanish. It's like, okay, I feel more free because it's more exotic, you know. That's what
Yeah.
people from USA probably, I would say USA, UK,
Yeah,
that
that
why.
was a part of a deal. That was absolutely part of a deal because in English I could communicate my feelings and my vulnerability, everything. I was so open when I had a first date with a guy which was a tourist, and it was like beautiful meeting. It was beautiful date, absolutely. Because I was able to communicate what was bothering me at that moment. He was also able to communicate because he was open about communicating his feelings. And if I would go with Georgian, if I would start with Georgian, my dating experience would be really, really different because I tried. and there was so much like tension. There was like mm, nothing really touched my soul to say it this way. So I was really it was always awkward. So I prefer that way consciously.
Mm,
Yeah,
that's
this is
true.
like yeah. I guess
Um,
we talked about it like when you have just like voices and you are free to express yourself with another
that's a
language.
big deal of Spain is like based on this idea because tourism, because as we already said, tourists, I would say like 80, maybe more percent of tourists, they are not come here for culture and to sing Sagrada Familia. They don't care about Sagrada Familia. It's like a big thing. So it's based on the idea they come here because I've seen many people like this. They are maybe very shy and very awkward person in their countries and their friend groups, and they are known as like a little bit of resilient. It's like, oh, I cannot do anything like that and stuff like that. And they come here and they like see there is a freedom. I agree with this. There's a freedom of expression yourself as much you want.
Mm,
And they love this idea because especially this type of people who cannot express themselves and they are being engaged by something. And then you come here, you drink like a very bad tequila or you drink beer and you get like a little bit free and you say, "Oof, I'm in Barcelona, nobody's gonna know what I'm gonna do." So you can go
yeah,
like show your boobs to anybody, you can kiss someone you want in a club and you feel like, okay, I just did it and I go home and nobody will know about it. Everybody will think that I went in Barcelona to see Sagrada Familia and that's it. Nobody will know like what are you gonna do. So
yeah,
your
yeah,
parents, your friends, nobody will know that you did this thing. But the problem is that people who live in Barcelona, we see this shit every day, and it's like,
yeah,
that,
okay, no more like
please,
put the
thank you.
limits. I guess that's a problem, yes.
Also,
Uh,
then it doesn't come with cheap because it comes with like a lot of people who are taking advantage of a lot of people like that because they know why come here. They know that you are not interested in any culture. You want to just express yourself as you want. So people are taking advantage of that, or they are taking advantage of other people.
yeah,
It could happen opposite. So not a
definitely.
good thing. It's more of a toxic thing, but
Mm.
it keeps bringing money in countries. So I guess it's okay. I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
not
for
a
okay. I have a acquaintance, German, who was like visiting Barcelona probably 4 times or 5 times a year just for swingers club. He was not
okay.
interested in anything. He was like, okay, I have seen it once, I do not care. And there is one this girl I want to see, and I want to do these things with her. And it was like, okay, sexual tourism is a thing as well. So,
To cut it down, it's either I want to cheat my wife, my husband, or I feel like I'm gay and I need to explore my sexuality thing, or it's like I want to have open relationship with my partner. It's always like this, like I want to explore something. It's like it's never
yeah,
like I do this in my country and I go and I'm gonna do the same thing in Barcelona. It's never this. It's always like
yeah,
something new I want to do in Barcelona. It's never like oh, I go clubs in my
not
country
relation to it.
and I'm gonna do clubs in Barcelona too. Well, that's the
Yeah,
city I'm living and the country we are living. So what you gotta do?
yeah, what you can do really. Also, it's a big place, so there is space for everyone. So
Yeah,
let's see.
that was a good session of renting, I guess, with zero script. Like it was zero, just like a very free and
Yeah, you can invite your friends to our podcast so they can experience like this kind of freedom of speech and
yes,
they can
thank you. It's very
be,
rare. We don't script anything. We just freestyle and whatever comes to our mind. It's just we say this.
yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
yeah, great then.
later then.
Thank you. See you later, I guess. Yeah, bye.
Bye.